So we are still in the middle of a pandemic, and I escaped Manhattan for a little bit. I came out to Long Island to my dad's backyard, and I'm just hanging out for a little bit for the weekend. But since we can't travel, I thought I'd have some fun with my camera gear, and I pulled out my Aqua filter set from SANDMARC. So I want to show you guys this because this is what I use to film underwater segments. And so far there's only been one video that has underwater shooting, and that's my Disney Fantasy Cruise Sunrise. I shot some coral reefs and some fish. It was fun. But before I went on that trip, I was actually looking up what filters would work with my GoPro to kind of kill the blue light that you often see in underwater shooting. So I found this SANDMARC Aqua filter kit, and I want to share that with you guys. I'll shoot a few things in my pool and maybe run down to the beach after this. I want to preface this by saying this is definitely not the best way to show the capabilities of these filters. I should be in an ocean. But alas, we make do with what we have, right? Today I'll be using dive rings as my pretend coral reefs. The SANDMARC Aqua Dive Filter Set features 5 interchangeable filters for GoPro cameras. I'm using the GoPro Hero 7 Black along with its Supersuit dive housing, which is recommended for underwater dives down to 196 feet or 60 meters deep. This housing is what the SANDMARC frame attaches to, and then you just slide in your filter of choice. And yes, I do still have sand stuck in my camera thanks to this otherwise serene Hawaiian moment. The deeper you dive underwater, the greater the loss of color, which is why a filter set like this could be beneficial. The set includes red filters for dives between 5 to 20 feet, 20 to 50 feet, and 50 feet and beyond. It also includes a magenta filter for green water and yellow for night dives. Again, I realize that my dad's bright blue pool, which caps out at a depth of 8 feet, is not the best way to show this, but I wanted to do the side-by-side comparisons to demonstrate the differences. Here's a look at the 3 red filters at 3 feet. And now the magenta and yellow at the same depth. Because the water is so clear and shallow here, I think it's safe to assume that no filter is needed at all. But what about at 8 feet? Before I do that, I wanted to point out this one flaw or problem I've been experiencing, which is the water getting stuck between the filter and the lens. I think there's a way to avoid this by just not surfacing as much or gently bringing it down into the water. I haven't really figured it out, but you can see this real-world example of what it looks like while filming. It wasn't in every shot, but it definitely messed up a few of my shots, so something to be mindful of. At 8 feet, we are now in range for the first red filter to be useful. Let's see how it looks. And again, the same depth for the magenta and yellow filters. Interestingly enough, it looks like the magenta filter won this category. Could I simply color grade in post-production and skip the physical filters altogether? Of course. In fact, I recommend that for shallow depths. If clouds roll in, as they did to me in the Caribbean, the colors of the water change dramatically, and you don't want to be stuck with a filter on that's hurting your image more than it's helping it. I'd rather play with the colors at home in edit. If you plan to dive deeper, however, any clouds up above will have less of an impact on the colors of your image. For that, I think these SANDMARC filters are wonderful tools to include in your dive kit. As a bonus, if you'll indulge me, I wanted to share another fun aqua toy, which is the PolarPro FiftyFifty over-under waterproof dome. What a name. While this is not the most compact GoPro accessory, it does lend itself to some creative images. The key is to keep the top half as dry as possible to get the cleanest shot. Clearly, I need some practice. I know I promised a beach trip before the end of this video, but a storm moved into the area before I could venture out. I hope that you found this helpful, and I'd love to hear what underwater gear you use.